Das Monday Sales CRM ist definitiv das beste CRM, mit dem ich je gearbeitet habe.
Hello, are we working? Do we have sound? Is my mic working? Is my music too loud, too quiet? Everything fine now? Test, 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 test. Hello there. Anyone receiving? Is this working? Can I get some feedback? Hello there. Hello. Loud and clear. Thank you very much, Tai. Whoa. Alright, sorry for the delay. I was setting something up that takes 100% CPU, and had I done that on stream, it would have crashed for sure. So thank you very much for your patience. We are obviously jumping back into the Ironclad. Let's do that now. And yeah, where have we left off? We left off with the hangar basic outline built for the hangar and the catwalks. We placed a lot of cargo to see how big the grids are. That also kind of crashed the stream last time, so I'm not going to walk around these crates anymore. And what I wanted to do today is finish the base floor. So that is the back area here where the mules stand. You can already see that I have put the mules in there. Again, they do fit the size pretty decently. That's a good sign. But now I have the issue that I don't really have any reference here where that room ends. If you've been here for the first stream, it was pretty easy to build things like this, because now that my camera is aligned and this is all 90 degrees, it's pretty easy to make clear extrudes around these straight lines. And even these 45-degree lines, or whatever angle that is not a problem, because these two are still 90 degrees, so I can build this clearly. And with the Galaxy and with the Paladin, I could basically go through the whole ship like that. If there was an area covered somewhere like here, there was always another one that helped me find the right angle again. But here, I don't really have anything. The top floor is not aligned good enough to work from there, and then also here's another small staircase. There's just too many levels and variables here. So, I don't know where this room ends here. I know that it's bigger on this side than it is here. I know that this is pretty much in the middle. And I know that this is pretty much as deep as the wall here. But that's all I know. And so I could guess, but the next best thing I can do is go back to the video we got. The ISC Ironclad episode. And in that video they showed off quite a bit of that. And that's obviously just images, and I can't really build from that. I can't align every single camera for that. That's too much work. But what I can do, I talked about that in the past, but I have never used it on this project, is something else. Let me show you this here. So this software it's for photogrammetry, so it's made for reconstructing 3D models from a video, and it's normally meant to be used with stuff in nature that you see. Doing it from a screen capture it should not really work, but as you can see, it is not too bad. It's not beautiful, but you can clearly see that it took these images here, where you can see the top of that area I'm just looking at, and then you can see inside here, and you can see inside a bit more and a bit more, and so from these images it generates a model for that. And again, it's not good, but as you can see and as you can tell from how do I move here? As you can tell, the biggest indicator for this going wrong is that the angles of something are not 90 degrees. But, this looks pretty straight to me. Looks like a pretty clean reconstruction. And I have some points of references that I can use in my model. I have this door, I have this wall here, I have some of the things on the ground here, and I have that wall. So I should be able to put this into Blender, and obviously it's absolutely not good enough to use like that, and it never will be. But I can now use that as reference to see not only how far back this wall is, but also where this balcony is above. So again, it's not... This is getting a little less accurate than what I usually do, but it's much better than guessing from images, I would say. We also have already like a small this is the engine room in the back. This is obviously not good enough. I can do the same thing for that later with different images. But if I put just all images in here, it will not understand it. For example, you can see this, there are a few here. These ones. Where he did not understand that it's the same thing. Maybe because it isn't. Because if they change objects in the scene here, sometimes they do that in the video. They blend in different levels and floors and stuff. That will obviously completely confuse him. Maybe that's the case here, but he does not know that this is the same place as this. That's unfortunate because that would make the alignment a lot easier for me. And obviously there are ways for me to give him hints that it's the same. But I'm happy with what I got so far, so I'm going to take this one, bring it back into Blender, and then try to align it as good as I can. Thought it was a cave, yeah, I know, it always looks like that. Because wherever he stops seeing enough detail, he just tries to make one big blob out of it. Looks like a rough aluminum cast is actually the perfect analogy, because basically that's what it is. It just takes the images and then it just shoots rays at it and sees where stuff is, where parallax changes between images, and basically makes an imprint of that. But that will hopefully really help us. So let's try to... I'm not sure I have ever exported this on this machine. Okay, we need that in the Ironclad. No, you can't use this for CNC. That is the thing, you can also not use this for 3D printing or something like that, because you can already tell how dirty this model is. These are big holes, but there are holes everywhere in here. It's just... You could clean that up, but basically you would always start to build something new on top of this and just use this for reference. You can get perfectly clean models out of this when you use it like what it's meant to be used for. Like if you scan, I don't know, a door or a gravestone or something that has not, I mean, it's not, it always struggles with beams and fine like railings and stuff like that. And obviously this is just a terrible material for him to work with. But again, should be fine for what we're doing here. Okay. Let's see if we can get that aligned. It's a lot tougher in here. It looks so ugly. Ah, right. I have never used a CNC, but I thought that it would take the same kind of data as a 3D printer, just that it basically works in reverse by just not adding the stuff but taking it away. But I thought the model is the same, that you, or the type of model, and also that it has to be the same cleanliness as for printing. Origin to cursor, okay. Unfortunately, this is completely... Oh, actually, it's not that... Usually it's completely rotated around every single axis, but this looks pretty well aligned. And also the size is not completely off, which is another sign that it kinda understood what it was looking at. Now let's see if we can actually align that to our reference image. Okay, so as you can see, I can't make it 100% accurate. But we have kind of aligned it here. So this thing kind of aligns. Wait, let me check it's still on the floor. Well, kind of. So we have this aligned kinda decently. We have the strut here kinda aligned. Unfortunately, the beam on the top seems to be a touch. Ah, it's not too bad actually. Then we have this strut here. And we also have the door here. Oh, that actually matches pretty good. Not perfectly, but I mean, the only thing where it needs to be super, super accurate is the hangar anyways. So I'm quite happy with that. Oh no! No, wait. I thought this is the reconstruction of the... Oh, but they are kind of in the same place too. Look at the headlights. That's pretty good. Oh no, it's not good. Or, I mean, it looks kind of good here, but as you can see in the back, the engine room is now angled a bit. And it's not supposed to be angled. But maybe that is just because this area is further... Let's assume this front area is pretty decently accurate. I don't think I can do it better by hand. Yeah, I check that. You think it's an optical illusion that it's angled? I mean, we can check again. You might be right. It's not as bad as it looks. It's still not exactly in the center of the hangar, at least. See, it's offsetted from the hangar. But maybe it is not centered. I can, it's hard to check. Just having a look back at the images. It's hard to say. Maybe it is not centered. I guess I'll figure that out later. It doesn't have to be centered, but I just thought it would be. Okay, here we go. I'm I'm working a bit blindly, but we're done with this in a second, and then we should have some better visibility. So what is this? What are we looking at here? Do I take this as the wall, or this is just as a beam? Actually, let's go back. Let's go back at this here and have another look at the images. Oh, here, this looks pretty much like this is not in the center. That's what you're saying, right? It looks like this room here is aligning with this line and not with this line. So maybe this room is a bit off to the right. Be interesting. Now we're getting into stuff that we just haven't seen. Haven't noticed. Okay, so it looks like this is one flat wall with some component here. But it's supposed to be a flat wall with just a tiny strut here, so I think it's not supposed to be as deep as it is here. But then I assume this is the wall. So it's our wall. And then we also kind of know that the room is square on the lower floor. As you can see here, it's a 90-degree angle, I assume. And only on the top floor we have a different layout where it gets angled. But here on the bottom it looks like this room uses the complete width of the hangar. Yeah, there is your wall. There's another small wall here. Maybe we should try to find that too. But back to our model. It looks like this here uses the full width. And then that wall that I just talked about, there's obviously the one in the front that is where the hangar ends. Hello, Uncle Porkchop. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sorry, today is an episode where I try to do something and have a little less narration, but maybe we get into the talking part later. But let's finish this room and then we have something to talk about again. So we have that one wall in the front, that's the one we already knew about, where the hangar ends. We also have that in this ugly thing here. Let's try to set that up. As accurately as I can. Oh no, what happened here? So this looks accurate to my image here. So that's our wall that divides the... Oh, I forgot that one. That's fine. And then there's another one. Where was that? Let's go back to this one. You can't see it in the model. That's a blob. But it looks like it's behind. Somewhere behind the mule. It's very hard to say where. Ah, no, actually. Okay, so as you can see on the top there, we have the window here. Then we have this one panel here, and then a second panel. And the wall pretty much aligns, it's pretty much in between these two panels. Oh, actually, there's two walls. They don't. No, that's different things. That's why you have to look at that in motion. Okay, I think this is just a corner somewhere behind. Okay. It's completely unimportant because no one is going to put a vehicle in there, so I assume it's just this corner here that, again, I assume is the same width here as it is on the other side. And we can have a good look at it here. And so I assume these two doors and the corridor here, assume it's the same on the other way. Actually, we can see that on... Let's go back one last time. I'm sorry for the switching around. Somewhere here you could see it. Yeah, looks pretty much exactly widthwise as it is on the other side. Except that maybe here we don't have a door. Maybe there is no ladder here. I'll check that out later. Doesn't matter. I still think the width of that small compartment there is the same as it is here. And that would mean that we have a wall here. Now, why is this not lining up? This looks to be wide. Oh, okay. That's possible. Where did I take the depth of the wall from? From this, I assume. Oh, from this. Okay. That looks accurate. This room might be a bit thinner. I'm not sure about this last meter here. I don't think it matters. But I'll look at some stuff later to see how big this actually is. Good evening, Mikkel. Nice to have some reoccurring faces in here by now. Oh, we have tripled in viewers since I started, so maybe I'll just go over what I just did super quickly. We jumped into a different software, this one, to reconstruct a model based on some of these images from the video. Because my blueprint is not, it doesn't have any details for these areas hidden here. So I made some model from that, and this is now our reference back in Blender to align this as good as possible. It's not as accurate as what I usually do, but it's definitely better than nothing. And so let's finish this up by adding this balcony thing on top. That should give this room some nice depth to it. Okay, that's something. Looking good, no clue how this software works, but it's fascinating to watch. I can actually try to explain that a bit. So the software used is called reality capture. Doesn't matter, there's millions that all do the same. The process is called photogrammetry, and it's also what iPhones now do. They have, I don't know what the app is called, but they have some 3D scanning app that uses that in addition with a LiDAR scanner. That's something else that I don't have here, but basically what it does is it takes a bunch of photos of something, of an object, where you have like, if you had this car, you would take a camera and then just walk around it and take pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures of it. Hundreds, thousands of it. And from the difference in these pictures, it can calculate the depth of that object. So that works by analyzing the parallax between those pictures. You've never, I assume most of you have heard that, but my students usually they have never heard that word, and so I just let them put their 2 pointing fingers in front of their faces. You can do it right now. Close one of your eyes, put your 2 fingers in front of your eyes so that the front finger covers the back one. And if you now rotate your head, the front finger should basically always cover the back finger. If you can see it a bit, that's because you can't rotate around your eye, but your camera could perfectly rotate on a tripod, and so you would not have what is called parallax. Now, if you move your head to the side, you can see that your front finger moves apparently a lot faster than your back finger. And so that is parallax, and from that you can calculate that what's closer to you moves faster, in layman's terms. And so your computer does the calculation of calculating where the depth is in your image. And from that it can generate a 3D model. Sounds kind of like LiDAR, but it's basically the same, but with a LiDAR scanner you actually have basically, I think it's some kind of laser, some kind of wavelength that actually shoots out something and then gets that back. And that happens in the moment you scan, so it's very accurate, it's perfectly accurate. Where this is just based on photos. So you would have to do it later and you can't have the actual precision of shooting rays at whatever you're scanning. So that's why the iPhone thing is so good, because it combines the 2 techniques. This is much older, but the good thing is that it works from just images. And it needs a lot of detail in the images, so photos with textures on it are perfect. And obviously objects that are just completely gray like this are the worst thing of information you can give it. But I'm happy that it found something at least. As you can see, it always struggles with even surfaces because it's just gray for him, and it's still crazy that he understood these angles perfectly, but it's something. Now, before I remove this here, we could now also put this here where it belongs. Because it looks like the wall is a tiny bit further back. And it is about this high. That's good enough for what I'm trying to do. No, unfortunately I have two different models here. I'll have to clean that up later. But I have to clean all of this up later. That's pretty dirty. But we now have a much better reconstruction of this hangar or garage area. And I assume this is also where you have the repair bay. Well, actually the repair bay I think is in between these two walls. Let's find out. Yeah, so the repair bay is in between these two walls. Hello, thank you very much. So I would like to attempt another walkthrough. I hope it doesn't crash again. Last time that did not work too well, but I think that was because of the crates. So let's replace these crates with just boxes, because I want to have them in there for size. Oh my god, you have the longest username I've ever seen. I'm going to read it out. Fun. Why am I the only one you always catch? That's, I don't know. I always I always try to have my streams announced a few days before, but I never managed earlier than 3 hours before I start. So I'm a terrible streamer when it comes to planning. It's your luck, I assume, that you always catch me. That's your... Okay, fair enough. I'm super sorry that I disrespected your name. Where's that coming from, if I may ask? That's a nice, beautiful name you have there. 2.5. When you finish, can I fly this ship? That's a tough one. I'm not sure how much joke was in that question. If you just joined and haven't realized what it is, I mean, the title says it. It's a reconstruction of the Ironclad. It's not the Ironclad you can use in-game, but I am going to share this model with my subscribers at some point, whenever I have it somewhere reasonable. That's the idea. Fair enough. It is a long name though. So this is the a nice 32 SCU crate. In case you didn't know, 1 SCU is exactly 1.25 meters in every axis. So 32 SCU crate is 2 times 2 that, so 2.5 meters, and 5 times that in length. No, not 5 times. 8 times. 16 times. 4 times. What am I talking? Anyway, the fact that it's in meters is a subtle hint to the fact that Star Citizen is set in the future and uses proper units. There's our crates. Let's hope my computer can handle this. Please let me know as fast as you can if I crash sound or video again. Last time I didn't like this part. So, if we come into the Ironclad from the side entrance here, we have this first room that I don't know the use of. No, it's not a room, but it's some kind of reset wall. I assume there's something meaningful here, but I don't know what it is. Then you have your hangar here, your, I assume, lift or stairs. I haven't checked really what it is behind that door. And then here we have that room for the 2 mules. That actually kind of looks to me like it could fit a 3rd one. But yeah, I mean, you've seen how I built this. I would not make any assumption based on that. Sorry, it looked like there were doors. You mean on this wall here? More doors? There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. I didn't see any more doors here, but I can check in a second. It definitely will be one of the ships with the most doors. It will still have less stairs than the Paladin, but it will come close. With just these white boxes, it's a bit hard to see the scale of that, but the speed I'm walking is pretty much my normal walking speed. So you can kind of feel that this is quite a big room. I love this ship so much already. So you're saying more doors here? I can't tell on this image. On this image we can't tell. Oh, are you talking about this one? That's on the floor above. Is that what you saw earlier? These are on the top floor, and I was talking about the wall back here that you really can't see on this image. But I have another one if we switch back to... I know it's not the best quality, but on these ones here we had another look at the wall. In the video, yeah, right, okay. In the video grab here. Looked like components to me, actually. Not this one. But this looks like a massive... I don't know what it is. Shield generator? Hyperspace generator? Looks like a component. And this, not so much. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's just decoration. What do you think? Maybe it's a cooler because of these pipes here. I've never seen a capital size, or is it capital size? I don't know, but I have never seen a components of this size up close. Or never. I mean, I walked through the Polaris, but I never paid attention to how the components look. Maybe I should. But you're saying cooler too? Looks kind of like a cooler, right? So we know that we have 3 big modules, big components here. That's pretty accessible. It's good. That's interesting. I definitely need to grab... Oh, that's a close-up look. Nice. I definitely need to grab the models of these, so I have the correct dimensions for the components. I do remember some of them were in the Polaris. I'm not going to check that right now. That's too computer melty. Oh yeah, CIG did just overhaul the shop website and the ship information site. I think they kind of combined the information side and the shop. They have the holoviewer model always active center. It's a bit more prominent than before. Not sure if it's better, but on first impressions it was definitely different. And it also means, I checked that earlier, the old way of exporting holoviewer models does not work anymore. I'm sure we can get that working someday, but for now the old way that I showed here a few weeks ago, that doesn't work anymore. Right before Invictus. Great timing. Yeah, it looks very clean. I'm not ready to say if I like it more than before. It looks also like it's simplified. It would take me some digging to see if I actually am missing something now. It looks very, very clean, for sure. but I also feel that some things are missing. They have added a matrix model of the ship on the outside. Sadly, you can't look on the inside. That is the same that... It's the same that always has been there, right? Or am I missing something? I think what you're saying, what you're looking at is the exact same model that I have here, that I currently work with. That has always been on the website. Or is there a different model that I'm overlooking right now? Added a matrix model of the ship on the outside. Sadly, you can't look on the inside. That's new. Where do you see that? Can you show me or tell me what you mean? You can see from all the angles the ironclad parts. Let me set something up. Are you talking about this one? About this view here? This one? Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, that has always been on the side, but it has always been a bit hidden. On the bottom, where it had the tech specs, there were 3 different buttons you can press, and one of that was holoviewer. And it was always showing exactly this. Just the background image has changed a bit, but the model, the animation here, that's all the same. It has always been. Just that you can't download it anymore. Before you could download this image. And again, as I just said, it's this here. This is what I'm working off. This is just with materials on, but it's the same model you have on the website there. Gianni, what's the progress so far? Let's recap a tiny bit. Depending on if this is your first stream. I'll assume you've never seen one, so for all the newcomers, we have taken the holoviewer model, we put materials on it, we have aligned the camera, we have built the bottom floors very accurately. And so we have the perfect hangar dimensions here. And can see how many boxes fit. And we have today made a scan to see how the mule hangar and this room here, how deep that is and how big that is. So basically I have now the hangar and the directly connected rooms laid out completely. This layout takes forever because this model is so confusing and so also so big, but mainly so confusing, and the image I have is really restricting how I can work with it. I do not understand the positioning of the mule hangar stuck behind all the crates. How are you supposed to park them there once fully loaded or use them to unload? Do they fit through the middle? That's a good question, actually. I don't think they fit through the middle. The mule is... How wide is it? 3 meters wide. And this in the middle is only 1 or 2 meters, maybe even less. It's 2 meters. Oh, well, I'm not entirely sure about that. It kind of depends on if the cargo grid has these boxes a bit under the catwalks. Because as you can see, there's a gap there. And also the rooms are a bit angled, so this could be a bit wider, but I think 3 meters is too much. I don't think a mule can go through when these boxes are in there. Then again, elevator. I don't think there's an elevator in the back that can get the mules out. At least I don't see anything here. I assume that the mules can't get out if it's fully loaded. Also, I mean, the mules can't really help with unloading big boxes. So I assume the idea is that you only have half completely filled with 32 SU crates, and then you have smaller crates on the other side and maybe don't completely fill it, because with these big ones the mule wouldn't be of any help anyways. Open the rooftop and drop it inside. I don't think you can drop it inside because we have the hangar bay on top, and the crates go until pretty much here. We know it doesn't go that high, it's only 2 rows. You could drop a mule in maybe, actually, I mean, why are we guessing if we can have the model? Oh, how many SCU did we say again was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it was 32 times 4 times 9. 1152, is that correct? Or is that the assault? No, that's the assault. So, 1536. 8. It's 12 rows of cargo boxes. 12 rows of cargo boxes. There we go. 12 rows. That's, yeah, pretty much to the first wall. Weirdly, because again, this wall is only in the assault, not in the other one, but you can still not, still don't have a cargo grid for these last, I don't know, 5 meters here. But yeah, I think I don't think you can squeeze a mule in here if there's boxes. Do you think the mule could... No, I think we already figured out last time that the roof here will be a bit thicker. Otherwise a third box would fit. I think the roof will become thicker than it is right now. So you probably can't even throw in a mule afterwards from the top, even if you wanted to. Maybe in the front here. Oh yeah, actually, if you needed a mule to unpack for whatever reason, there's also space here in the front to have another one. Unless, again, the door is made in a way so that doesn't fit because they don't want it to fit. I don't know. This making assumptions on this model is pretty... It's a lot of speculation. The Galaxy that I did was a lot cleaner because the layout was so much cleaner and simpler. How's visibility on the bridge? That's actually... Oh, that's actually something we can look at now. Not really good. It's 1536 SEU, that is confirmed for the not assault version, and 1152 for the assault. View from the bridge, it will be pretty messy because, as you can see, the model from the bridge is pretty rough, but we can still have a look, for sure. I'm saying can, but whenever I touch this model, like the holoviewer model, it kinda crashes a tiny bit. So we'll have to wait and hope that it doesn't die while I take out the windows. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're talking about the... Well, I mean... I assume Autonaut was talking about the control room, not the actual bridge, right? I mean, we can look at both, but I just assumed that you were... You are all right, this is not really the bridge, but I still assumed that he would wanted to have a look at the cargo bay from here, because we have now built that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, we have seen this in the trailer. The view is pretty obstructed, but at the same time, pretty cool. I mean, the look into this hangar is just so cool. It looks really big from up here. It looks much bigger than in my in the view from the top I usually have. This is fun. But if you were actually talking about the bridge, we can look at that too. Same procedure. I have to take out the glass here. Actually, no, I don't. I can just... Second, please. There we go. So this would be your actual bridge view. Oh, first of all, it's pretty cool that you can... Oh no, okay. I thought you can look into the command room, but that's just the the beams on top. You can look at... it's pretty hard to see inside, but maybe if someone was standing right behind that window, you could see him. That's interesting. But the view inside is not the best. Like inside. I also have no idea how far in the front you would sit. How high up? I don't know. But it's pretty decent, I would say. It looks pretty much like the view from a wider caterpillar. Or is there something weird about the caterpillar view that I don't know about because I haven't flown that too much? This is not the bridge, it's just an area to control the cargo lift. Is it just the cargo lift that you can control from there? I assume you also control the roof, the retractable roof from there. And all the security doors. I would assume that you can open the doors from the command center and not from the cockpit, as well as the tractor beams, because you should be open to control all of that with the Hangar module, with the command module detached, right? So I assume you would have less control from the cockpit than you would have in the Caterpillar or in all other ships. Or maybe you have control from both of them, but I assume that could be tricky. It's gonna be well in atmosphere. Honestly, I don't think this should be flying in atmosphere. This is not very believable. Or in other words, if this can fly, this brick can fly in atmosphere, then I don't know why a Hull D can't. Is that a catwalk on the outside? Didn't mention it in the promo, but it seems cool. Which one are you talking about? There are a handful of catwalks on the outside. There's one here. And also one on the opposite side. But I have not found any way, like any real way to get there. It's used in the promo images. There are people working and welding on here. But I haven't seen how you should get there. This here is not a catwalk, that's just some railing. There's one on the bottom here. And then there's another one in the back here, and this does look like it has a door here. So I assume you can exit on top here. But to me it doesn't look like you're supposed to then walk around this and then walk all the way to the front here. Even there. Oh, here's another catwalk. Is that only on this side? Oh yeah, there's one more catwalk that is just on this side. But again, I don't see a way to get here. I'm not sure you are supposed to walk over all these pipes and stuff. But We'll never know. No, we'll know soon enough. Ironclad. Here, I don't really see any doors here, any paths here. I don't really think we're supposed to walk on top of that. A fully laden hold with Haldi. No, I'm fully laden with I thought that anything above the hull C, so D and E, are not able to fly in atmosphere. I'm not even sure if they can fold like the C can. Maybe I don't know about that, but I'm sure that one of these, maybe it's only the E, cannot enter atmosphere at all, right? No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the hull C is the only one that can still enter atmosphere with boxes attached, and then the bigger ones can't anymore, but everything I just said is wrong. They can still retract and then they can land. But what I'm saying is, if a hull D with boxes can't fly in atmosphere, then this probably shouldn't either. Yeah, okay, it has 10 times the cargo, but okay, it's science fiction, but this is a brick. This is just a brick. Doesn't really matter how much bigger it is. At some point it just becomes unbelievable, I think. And I think that point is this here. I mean, you're right. VTOL. I don't think that any VTOL thruster in the world could lift this. Even though in universe it can. And gameplay wise it's good that it can, but I don't think it looks really believable. Oh, Sally the Reptile, I was surprised to see on the Inforunners. I hope they invite you again. Was pretty entertaining. Thank you. I have to say I enjoyed that. I'm not sure why you're surprised, because as Execute said, it is a pretty good fit. Basically, I only did what Grim did before me, or I got inspired by him, so I kind of think it was pretty fitting. But I have also noticed on the stream of the two that, I mean, Execute said it, I'm too quiet for these two people. If they start arguing, or not arguing, but like speculating and getting excited, then I just sit back and let them do their thing and jump in only if I think it's the right moment, and so they had about 90% of the talking. I still think it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure we will do stuff again. Execute had a pretty amazing idea for us. I'm not sure if I can share that. Maybe I shouldn't. But there was another big project he had in mind with the three of us and some more that is more than just talking about stuff. It's super exciting, but he said he wanted to do it after Invictus sometime, when the waves have settled a bit. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wonder how many detachable bridges fit in its own hangar. Why? I mean, we can have a look, but why are you asking yourself that? I think not even one, because it's too high. You know what? Let me separate that for you. That might again take a moment. I mean, ship could land vertically like the starship, but yeah, that wouldn't be as fun. That would be more believable if you have it like rocket sized. But just imagine this thing here, landing and taking off vertically. And just imagine all these boxes not properly secured, and every time you start, all the boxes fall to the back of the ship. That would be amazing. Would also feel very Drake. It must land in atmosphere. Or am I supposed to land my tanks on space stations only? Yeah, I know it. I know it has to land for its role. And I want it to land, but I'm just saying it doesn't look super convincing to me. And yeah, you put it right. Realism isn't the goal here, but I appreciate whenever they manage to give something a sense of realism, even though nothing really is, but whenever there's a sense of realism, then I appreciate that. What a horrible question. I assume you're still talking about the this thing here. Yeah, we're going to find out soon enough. Ironcladception. Didn't they say the bigger hulls were also supposed to be able to carry ships on their container pads? Yeah. They showed that actually. They showed an Aurora on the side of... Was it a hull C or was it something bigger? That's pretty cool. I really like that. Had a vibe of one of these car transports that you see on the highway. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. I think this, with these engines, it kind of looks like it's supposed to take off vertically. And the fact that it doesn't... I mean, it's the right decision in a lot of ways, but I would have appreciated anything that makes it believable that this brick can fly. I think that the hull series looks pretty nimble for what it is and what it carries. Even though it obviously the mass is insane and the shape of these platings does not help at all in atmosphere, but I think it looks kinda nimble compared to this brick here. Almost done. It's so hard to select this stuff here. I'll see, but they said it was a mock-up for demonstration purposes. What do you mean by that? Did they say that it's not going to carry auroras, but only smaller stuff? Or what do you mean by demonstration purpose only? I think they said you can fit small ships on there, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the details. Yeah, we don't have to discuss realism. Obviously, this thing is not realistic. The whole universe is not realistic, but there were some good examples, but I can't remember right now. Some things where I thought this at least gives you a sense of realism. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that was a... What do you call it? It's a tough one. So, where's our Hangar matrix? Okay. So, there's your... There's your cockpit module. Height-wise, no, I don't think so. This already does not fit height-wise, and there's no landing gear. You might not be able to fit more command modules in there, I'm sorry. Even though, like, width-wise, you should fit 2. This is weird. But yeah, it looks like it's a bit too high. Again, these, the top will become thicker. Will have to become thicker. Sorry about that. Bye, Mikkel. Thank you for joining. What if it's on the inside? Is it taller than it's wide? Sorry, what do you mean? What if it's on the inside? Is it taller than it's... Oh, if it's on the side. It looks wider than it is tall. And also, I mean, we can check, but it would kind of break, right? If you just lay it on the side. You couldn't leave, and you could also... So it's 10 meters wide and 8 meters high, and the dimensions of the hangar are So I have this box here that is the exact size they gave us in the Q&A, and that said it is 7.5 meters high. So it's 60 centimeters too high and 2 meters and 60 too wide if you put it on the side. The command module was never supposed to fit. No, we're not. We know it doesn't supposed to go in there, but someone asked how many command modules you could put in there, and well, I mean, these are the kinds of questions that I'm going to answer here. The weird questions that CIG won't answer because they are weird and unethical. Doesn't CIG know all this? Shouldn't they be adjusting the width and height so it can fit different ships? Why would the command module fit into other ships? You mean... It might fit into bigger ships, but I don't think it is really meant to... I mean, it should make... No, it should dock other ships. It's more meant to dock other ships. That's why it has the port on the side. But it flies on its own, which means it can be lost, and therefore you would need a spare. A spare command module here. That's... Actually, why don't you just put a spare command module on the other side? Then it's symmetrical again. Or, what you can also do, because it is Drake and it looks very aggressive, you could have a bunch of other command modules, like a machine gun belt that wraps around here. And whenever you lose one, it rotates up and you get a fresh command module. That's a good idea, right? But that's only on the military version, obviously. Good thing we brought a spare bridge. What are we doing here? This is a cargo bay, not a ship. A lot of people are saying this is a cargo bay, not a ship hangar. It's true, I think we all know that. But whenever there is a cargo bay, people in Star Citizen will try to fit whatever they can in there. Same with the Galaxy. It's just for fun. But you're right, it's a cargo bay at the end of the day. Even though we have seen that it's pretty well suited for carrying golems, multiple golems. I just think the Ironclad would be more popular the more versatile. I agree. But after we checked how many ships you could fit in here, it's actually way too close for a carrier. Like even if it was like 10%, it would still be way too small. You could, if it was 10 or 20% bigger, you could fit one, I don't know, Hornet in there maybe. But you would want 2 or 3, I guess, for a carrier. So I assume we need a super Ironclad. But that kind of is the Kraken. So, but I still would appreciate a super Kraken that is just a touch wider and then double the length. So the hangar gets 3-4 times the length, and then you can have 3, I don't know, 5 Buccaneers or 3 Hornets in the front. That would be cool. So you have a closed-off alternative to the Kraken. Not going to happen. Isn't the military version supposed to be a vehicle carrier? Yeah, it's supposed to be a ground vehicle carrier. But I mean, why are you fighting about what it's supposed to be? At the end of the day, you are going to try to fit everything in here. You should be able to pilot from the bridge in some way, in my opinion. I wonder how they make that space useful. I think they said that you won't. And I think the idea is that you are really stranded without the command module. I think that is a design decision, even though it would only make sense to have controls in here. But I think it's a design decision that this thing strands without its command module. Even though, yeah, it can't be too hard to have another set of joysticks in there. Zeus Mark II, Alternaut, we tried that last week. I think we figured it's absolutely not going to fit, unfortunately. We noticed that the Zeus is too wide and too tall. Hi, where's the tractor beam located? There's two. Actually, more than two, maybe. There's one here. And one here. And I have not built that, but you can see they are hovering right now. They are on a rail system. And then they can slide over here, so you can have the two top tractor beams move all around this thing. Not all around, but around the sides to look inside from good angles. And then there is another tractor beam here in the front here. This one. And that is controlled from this thing here. And I think this is only in this is not in the assault variant. Smaller than the Ironclad would be the Siren. Iron Pillar. Iron Pillar. That's a good one. Idris fits like 8 Gladius with a bit of squeezing. A Q-ship variant of the Ironclad. A giant hidden retractable turret compared to the Perseus. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I told everyone that when I heard the news that there will be a big drag ship and then saw the thumbnail that just showed this view here, that was the YouTube thumbnail, I assumed that it was a warship that is supposed to be a counterpart for the Idris in the missions. So not all these pirate missions have Idrises, but these things with guns on the side and just raw firepower instead of cargo power. So I was hoping for the Ironclad to be a warship, but unfortunately I think it will be quite tricky to build this into one, because it is really designed as a cargo ship. I still hope there will be a variant that is more suited towards ship-to-ship combat. Maybe I'll design one for fun, but it's not perfect design for that. But I would appreciate it. I would have actually appreciated because Drake always draws inspirations from real naval ships. If it had all the guns on the side here, like instead of the retractable roof, the sides would slide open and then you have your cannons facing to the side, and then it would, yeah, like a pirate ship, fly next side to side to your Idris, and then like have all of its firepower here going to the sides like a pirate ship. Not efficient, but would look cool. And would be one of the slimmer angles that face your opponents compared to this. But obviously, having your firepower go to the front is still better. Still less surface exposed, but it would be cool to have all of them. It would be cool to have 2 of these firing at each other like in Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe I will kit bash a variant of that with firepower on the sides, guns on the sides, and then maybe the hangar reduced to just run one row of 32 SCU boxes. That's still decent. And then just guns and guns and guns on the outside. Because I like the design so much. It's such a nice brick. Actually, what we haven't done and what I would like to do now is have a look at this compared to the Kraken, if I can. If I can find it. Where's the Kraken? I have the Kraken somewhere. Give me 1 second. Found it. Found it. But I assume no one wants to see the Kraken, right? Open it? No, you don't open the Kraken. That's not how it works. No, you also don't... You don't show the Kraken. Guys, you don't... You know how to do it. You don't show a Kraken? You don't open a Kraken? Thank you. Thank you. There you go. You release it. Unfortunately, releasing the Kraken might also melt my computer. No. Looks good. Sigh. I actually thought it was bigger. Then again, this docking port here is as wide as the whole Ironclad. But it is not much wider than the Ironclad. Actually, yeah, good question. Can we... Oh, has anyone ever tried that? Can we land the Ironclad? Oh my god. I mean, it like it hangs over a bit, but it kind of fits. It fits, it sits. That's a perfect combination. And actually you might you might be able to put a second one on these smaller pads. We are not here to make assumption. We're going to try this. Okay, it really depends on how the landing gear works out in the end. Depending on where the landing gear is, and with some tricky parking here, like this, I can see this carrier actually doing some serious carrying. Oh, I wish Grim was here. I'm not sure if he did this. Isn't this cool? This is so stupid. Look at this. No, but in all, like, realistically, I mean, why not? This one, for sure. This one, maybe not so much, but I don't see any reason. Maybe they put, like, antennas on the sides of on the pad here to not have this happen. But, I mean, looks doable, right? It's so weird that that antennas and, I don't know, the lampposts around bunkers, that they don't break off, that they are just completely solid and you can't destroy them. So if they put just some of these antennas here on the side of the pad, then we could not use it like this. But this is really cool. I guess you know about the Fleet tool website. It is a somewhat less CPU heavy way to... Yeah, I know. You're talking about Fleet Viewer. Of course, I know it. I do talk to the creators from time to time. But you can't tell me that this isn't a bit more fun than having these two images overlaying each other, right? This is different. This hits different. If it fits, it sits. Krakenclad. Actually, technically it's the Krakenclad. They are going to break, like the walls they keep demoing. You're talking about when they have their Maelstrom system in there, that everything is supposed to break. And I assume you're right, but I still think that they will keep some things that you can't break just for balancing. Like exactly this. So that they can make you not land everything on anything. Rakenclads. Look how big this engine is. But again, not as big as I imagined, to be completely honest. I thought this was like one of these engines in The Force Awakens where they fly through with the Millennium Falcon. Now in relation to the Ironclad, I mean, it's still big, but yeah, not Star Destroyer sized. Drake still needs a bigger ship. Really? I agree with... I mean, I still think that we need... maybe more than the Kraken, we need some counterpart to the Idris and the Polaris that is not military UEE looking for these pirate missions. So something... yeah, like a real pirate Idris. Something from Drake that is not a carrier, not a cargo ship, but a purely military ship. That, I think, would be really cool if I don't have to destroy another Idris that was stolen. Krakenclad. Now we need animation as 4 Ironclads. Kraken and a cutter assemble into some giant mecha. Oh boy, no. Not on this hardware. Oh, Guardians, thanks. That, what you just saw there, I closed it now. 6,800 SCU. That would be ridiculous. For Drake, it would make sense to have a base ship, a pirate island that flies. Isn't that the Kraken? Isn't the Kraken the perfect pirate island that flies? So for anyone who joined later, we did actually get something done today. We made a scan based on that video they showed of the interior to help me get the dimensions of the mule hangar. And this small compartment next to it that will house 2 components. There's 2 big components here. One looks like the cooler, and the other one, I don't know, could be anything. And there's a third one here. So 3 big components here, pretty accessible. And then the 2 mules here. Everything we have here, I'm not as sure about the dimensions as with the other stuff, because I had to use this kind of scan here, which is kind of accurate, but not that accurate. So that's why earlier I said this looks like it could fit 3 mules, but I would not make any assumptions on this based on the size that I have here. But I think the layout, it's super nice to have the layout here to see that, because it's super interesting. I'll do this cleaner later. But what you can see is that there's kind of a gantry over there. Some kind of balcony that looks down on that room. That's pretty cool. And then above that is the ceiling and then the command bridge. So I think the layout here is pretty interesting, with the bigger room for the cars and then the component access here that you can carry straight into your hangar and then exchange them. I'm still not sure where the other components are housed though. I think I remember that some are in the back in the actual engine room. Or engineering room. But it will be pretty tricky to get stuff there and out again. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Oh, actually, the pilot sits a lot higher and a lot further back than I pictured it earlier. I was somewhere here in the front. I have to make the interior of this better sometime. Or maybe I can take the iron. Maybe I can take the Caterpillar one for now. I mean, I know that they are going to change it, but I'm not sure if this is the exact dimensions of the reworked one or if this is just a placeholder too. Okay, fair enough. Operations center. Station. Yeah. I'm curious to see if we can build different space stations, because the ones they have shown so far look pretty clean, like the ones we have in Stanton. I'm curious to see if we can build these rundown stations too, or if they will just become like that after time, or if you can build break stations that are not rundown, but also not as clean and as cool as the ones we have seen. All right. I think it's time. This was a constructive hour and then a not so constructive hour. That's perfectly fine. But I think it's time for me to go now. Let's just have one look at the I want to have one look at the Invictus schedule for next week. because next week on Wednesday I'm not going to continue this stream. For once, next Wednesday is when officially... No, next Thursday is when officially Invictus starts. With Aegis and Grey Cat Day. I won't be here either Wednesday or Thursday, unfortunately. So I hope nothing crazy interesting drops on the first night. And then I'm going to be back the 16th or something. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream right away or make videos right away, because then we have Origin, RSI Day, Argo Day. Let's see what happens then. What I'm most interested in, and the date that you should mark in your calendar, you're pretty sure you have, is May 23rd and 24th. That is Anvil Day, and that's when we're going to see the Asgard. And depending on what that is, that's the one where I pretty much promise that I will be here the second that drops and start to build that. I hope that I have something for the Ironclad to show by then. But more importantly, I will have my Galaxy video for the RSI Day and maybe something else, but I'm not going to show. I'm not going to talk about that. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Oh wait, actually no. Before I leave, do you expect anything on Aegis Day? I mean, I know that Grey Cat on the first day will drop their small command car thingy, which I think will also be the one with the rockets. I think that the rocket teaser we saw a while ago, I think was the last sneak peek. I don't think that was the Guardian MX. I think it was the top of the small Grey Cat rover, because you could, the light comes from the bottom. It looked to me like it was a flipped version of an image, so it's actually not on the bottom of the MX, but on the top of that small vehicle, because there's also that railing that looks like the railing on the Grey Cat teaser on the silhouettes. Sorry, I don't have the images up right now. But for Aegis, do you expect anything? I think the only thing I expect is maybe if we get a combat mech, then I would expect that from Aegis. That would be something for the first day, maybe. Oh, okay, and then the Idris. Sure, that would also be Aegis. But, yep. I have mixed feelings about the Idris, if it's coming. All I know is that both the Idris and a mech, a military mech, both are not necessarily something that is interesting for me on my stream. Because the Idris, if it comes, it will be flight ready, or at least for you to walk in, so no work for me to do. And if we have a mech suit, again, no interior that I can build. So I think for me and my streams, the Asgard will be by far the most interesting one, even though I'm not sure how interesting the ship will be. We'll see how big it is, how cool it is. And then Drag Day, will the Ironclad come? We'll find out, but currently I feel like it won't. Yeah, I saw that with the loners too, that the Idris loners are gone. But I don't put any weight in that. Why would you say that the most fun day is probably the finale? For me, especially. The finale is usually... usually there's nothing announced in the finale, right? The finale is just where you can rent every single ship, and I think the halls might already be closed already. Has there anything happened in the finale in the last years that I miss? I think it was just... Now you can test every single ship again, and goodbye. think the biggest surprise, if there is one, I I think the biggest surprise, if there is one, is on Drake Day. Or maybe, yeah, I mean, if the Idris comes now, it's not as big a surprise, even though obviously you want it all. I want it too. But we have seen the interior now of the Idris. Of course, we haven't flown it, blah, 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 but we have not seen anything from the Ironclad except the teaser. So having the Ironclad in-game, even if it's just for walking around and it's not flight ready, that would be more surprising, or not more surprising, more interesting to me than the Idris, because I've seen the Idris, and gameplay-wise, obviously something else. But yeah, biggest surprise for me. Alrighty, then, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me for the last 4 weeks, and see you at Invictus. In the next few days, I'm going to focus on finishing up my videos, and then we'll meet on the show floor. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you, and see you in a week.